My life sucks right now, I hate this, but if I don't finish, if I don't keep going, there's gonna be a lot of people that are pretty let down. I've gotta keep moving on the treadmill because I've got all of New York City, like, and the live stream and everything else, you know, they're cheering on. They're gonna be very disappointed if I don't finish. Doesn't matter how much I hurt, how much I hate it, how tired I am, and they're gonna be pissed off and annoyed with me, but we both know what we signed up for, and that's getting to the $700,000 for Bronx Burners and keeping the legs moving on the treadmill. So. I'm on treadmill, 7 days straight. The goal is 700 miles, and $700,000 is our target of fundraising for the Bronx Burners here in New York City. I'm gonna be right here on this treadmill for the next 164 hours and 12 minutes. Whether you're tuning in from the live stream, you're here in New York, the doors are open 24/7. Come swing by, come say hi. Come meet us, come meet the incredible people from the Bronx Burners that we're out here supporting. I don't even care if you donate, share what we're doing. Because the money is great and all for the charity. But like we talked about, the biggest impact is being able to inspire somebody to go on and do great things. Just like I was inspired to do this run by a woman I've never met who lives in Great Britain. That's the message. Share, come out, support, and we'll try to run 700 miles. We'll see what happens.
2, 1. Off we go. Here we go.
It's moving. My walk.
Back in January, there's a British woman who set a new female 2-day record on the treadmill. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I wonder what the male 2-day record is. And there's no shot I'm getting that. I'm way too slow. I was like, okay, what's the 3-day? People don't really track the 3-day. So like, okay, well, they track 7 days. And I'm like, I can do 7 days. That's a high barrier to entry. So I knew I wanted to do it live in New York. And I'm like, well, what charity are we going to do it for? Like, we should probably do it for a local charity in New York City.
But why Bronx Burners?
Really because of like the youth aspect. You know, there's run clubs all over, but there's very few run clubs that pour every single dollar they have into like furthering the education, furthering the athletic opportunities for youth. And so to have that here in the local New York community, you know, still in its infancy, it's a great way that we can give them a huge jump. And we've already had one young girl come up here and get 2 miles with us. So, you know, if we can get them inspired, raise a little bit of money, it's a win-win all around.
2.5 years into our operation, it is absolutely transformative potential for what it can do for the organization and absolutely take us to the next level. So, I mean, we're super grateful to you for what you're doing and bringing eyeballs, bringing awareness, bringing funds to what we're doing. It's an absolute launch pad. I want to rewind the tapes a little bit. We met Marine Corps Marathon 2023.
Yep.
And I was struck when you, actually Tyler was like, you got to meet this guy, Paul Johnson.
He said, I got to meet this guy who makes his own fuel.
He's about to run across the country. And I was like, this is absolutely insane. And what struck me was, most people are afraid to say their goals. They're afraid to say their ambitions. They hedge what they want to do. And you were very blunt of what your aspirations were, what your intentions were, both personally, physically, as well as the reason that you were doing it. And as a veteran, doing it for Team RWB is super meaningful, and you've just continued to personify that in every challenge that you've taken on. Go big, go bold.
Go big or go home, baby. Mostly go home, but we'll try to go big.
But, you know, when it comes to like going big, why go so big in everything? You know, you could just go out and run recreational every day, but you really set your sights incredibly high. What fuels that?
I mean, the worst thing that can happen is you fail, and then you just keep trying, and you just try again. So, the worst thing that can happen is you fail. The best thing that can happen is you succeed, and when you succeed, it's pretty cool. So, you know, that's just I like to try things that are really difficult that I know I will probably fail at, because then it gives me a benchmark, gives me something to strive for. Like, you know, I can go out and run a marathon with my eyes closed today, right? And for most people, you know, they got to really train for them. And I've been there, and it's like, okay, well, what's the next step? What's the next step? So it's always just trying to push the envelope, the limit, and you know, do these crazy things that I'm terrified of and don't think I can actually do. And then it's just a matter of putting your mind to it and doing it. I got fries. Show one.
Yeah.
Oh, my french fries.
Those fries smell so good.
Yeah.
Like,
bring them out.
Respectfully, to bring them in here while we're mid-interviews, just the Monopoly game is back.
Did I
No,
win?
you gotta feel that.
What do we think I won?
If that's the boardwalk, we're in business, baby.
St. Charles Place.
Goal is hit on day one if we pull the boardwalk.
What was the question? This is some proper ultra running nutrition right here.
By the way, while you're working hard, you gotta enjoy it. Those are good.
Why did you guys make the decision to focus on the youth with the Bronx Burners? Like, what drove you guys to make that emphasis?
When we got started, the focus was just on community and creating a space where that could become available. Like Shaq had said, wished it was cooler to be a runner in the Bronx growing up. And so we said, let's just start showing up. And we chose McCombs Dam Park track right there in front of Yankee Stadium where he already worked out. And we would just see people running around, and everybody we went up to said, hey, we're working out. Do you want to hop in? Every single person said, yeah. We sort of got hit in the face with our mission, because at the time we were building community, but then what we later realized was how much opportunity lies ahead of that community and what we could do to really be a pillar there and support the aspirations academically and personally of everybody who's in that community. So the unfortunate story is we had a bunch of kids who had aspirations to go to college, and right before they were meant to go, couldn't. Finances became an issue, lack of guidance, lack of support, and so we fought to make it a nonprofit organization, grant scholarships, and help bridge that gap to college. And then since then, we focused on getting to kids even sooner, like we're talking about, help inspire them, create life-changing opportunities and experiences. And since then, we've been able to support them with over $100,000 in academic scholarships. We've created life-changing experiences for them, one-on-one mentorship, academic support. We've had over 100 kids participate in organized activities for the first time in a competitive sense. And we've created life-changing experiences for adults to inspire the next generation as well. The Bronx community is a vibrant community that's underserved, and it's one of the most unhealthy zip codes, not just in the state, but in the country. Diabetes, mental health, other areas of underinvestment is a huge area that, through things like this, through health, wellness, academic, and social initiatives that we can create a space for through the Bronx Burners, can be transformative for many, many people's lives.
Go team.
You know, Paul, back to the challenge here, $700,000 as a goal and a foundation to take our organization to the next level. There's really three ways that this can help transform not just the Bronx Burners, but also the South Bronx community at large. First one is, you know, back to our original mission of helping ensure that everyone achieves their full potential. Academic scholarship. The last 12 months, we've been able to support the community, 20 students with over $100,000 in academic scholarships. Funding like this can support us in ensuring that everybody who has a need that's in the orbit of our community can go and achieve those goals. Second thing is, when we think about someone's life trajectory, as we know, the sooner you can be inspired to achieve something great, the higher your ceiling is. And so we want to get to kids sooner through our programming to inspire, mentor, and give them the resources they need to think big in life. And this helps us launch some of those programs and continue investing in those programs. Third thing is, when we think about the Bronx Burners, we don't just think about our team, we think about the community. You know, the Bronx, South Bronx in particular, is an underserved community that has a lot of potential. we want to see the area that we spend time in transform. We would like to see the track redone. We would like to see a community center built and a safe and inclusive space for everyone in the community to come out and achieve all those goals. So a foundation like that helps us move the ball forward. At that point, it's not just about us as a team, it's about the community, it's about the city, it's about elected officials all coming together to think about not just the 1-5, but 50 years future, the 50 years in advance of what's going on in the Bronx. Paul, that's our why. That's why we're out here. That's why we appreciate your support. But what drives you to do these extreme things? What's really behind the why?
Yeah, I mean, back in April, I just finished 7 years in the Navy, and I was a good runner when I was younger. I played soccer for like 10 years straight, and then kind of stopped in high school. And then in college, I picked up triathlon for like 2 years, did all those distances. But then, once I went straight into the Navy after that and commissioned, my first duty station was out in Spain, which was super cool to live in South Spain, but there's really no downtime. There's only 4 ships out there, and you're probably only in your house 6 hours a night for a quarter of the year, if that, between like work schedules and deployments and stuff. So, it's pretty tough. A lot of other things combined, leadership, COVID, being on the ships, etc. And so like both myself and a lot of my peers really struggled out there. And then coming back to stateside, I was in San Diego for 2 years, and one of my buddies who's a Marine Corps officer, he got out too now. He wanted to run the Marine Corps Marathon, which I think is, I guess it was the year after I met you there. So 22, he wanted to run the Marine Corps Marathon. I was like, yeah, dude, I've run a marathon before, like, let's do it. I was like, okay, I can run a marathon. Let's do it. He's like, oh no, I want to do it sub 3 hours. I want to qualify for Boston. I was like, brother, that's 4 months away from Marine Corps. He's like, oh, we're fine. So we both trained for it, both qualified. I think he did like a 251, I like a 256. So like we trained for 4 months, got our quals for the 2024 Boston because of the application period. During that time, I started realizing, I'm like, oh, it is really hard to go out on a Saturday morning in the heat of San Diego and run 20 miles if you've been out drinking a bunch the night before. Like, it's really hard, as I learned. And obviously drinking is main coping mechanism of the Navy. Like, drink like a sailor is no joke. I was doing less of it in San Diego. But then I pretty much stopped because I was like, oh, I told him I tried to run a sub 3 hour marathon, so the drinking kind of has to stop. And like a lot of depressant, suppressant, whatever it's called, science terms. And so a lot of the things that it was like masking and issues for myself with like depression and anxiety, those started to become more prevalent, but I found like the running helps a lot, helps with it too. And it also doesn't make you hungover and everything else that comes with alcohol. It's a lot cheaper too. Running's a lot cheaper. It's not cheap, but it is cheaper than drinking all the time.
You were struggling.
Yeah. No bueno. Not good. So then we ran the marathon. I was like, okay, I'll keep doing this running thing because it's fun. It makes me feel good. Like, it does a lot of good stuff for me. Then I kind of thought about like dipping my toe into the ultra world. And I ran my first 100-miler 5 months after the Marine Corps Marathon. I ran my first 100-miler, ended up placing like top 22, 23 out of the field. And so I got like direct qualification into UTMB for 2 years straight over in France, which is like unheard of in your, quote unquote rookie year of ultra running. And so I found that I was starting to get, I'm pretty good at this ultra running thing. I'm really good at eating French fries while running. I'm really good at just kind of walking and jogging. So, kind of took to that and started thinking about, okay, well, I need something to do. I need something to occupy my time, especially because after San Diego, I was going to Newport, Rhode Island as my next duty station, and I wasn't on a ship anymore. I'm like in a building in a schoolhouse. So I have a lot more downtime than you do on a ship. Downtime's not good for me. Like, I need to do something, so that's where the running started to fit in. So I was like, okay, what can I do? And this was beginning of 2023, and that's when I started to come across like Transcon. I'd heard about it in like 2017 when Pete Kostelnick set his current record of like 42 days, and Halis Sabid did his, and that kind of like jump-started it. I was like, cool, that sounds like a really hard challenge that I can't do. So let's try it. Because for that, I was training like 150 to 200 miles a week I was running on top of work. and everything that I did with the social media. So it kept me busy, it kept me engaged, it gave me a goal and something to focus on, and really helped with like the mental health side of things and keeping me distracted and focusing on positive things. We ended up doing that. We did it for Team Red, White, and Blue with charity work, especially because their big support is for veterans and physical fitness and mental health. Moving back out to California, I know I needed to set my eyes on a new target. It's kind of like, okay, I need a new target and I need purpose. And that's where it all sort of flows together in, helps me, personally a lot, but then we're also, as we talked about, be able to have a massive impact on other people as well at the same time. So it's very, very fulfilling.
This sport, these ways that you've been able to cope, outside of other less, other more harmful means.
Yeah.
Probably saved your life.
It did save my life. Running definitely saved my life. So it's a big part of me.
How has it transformed your life from the path you were on to what you're doing now?
I'm in a lot better of a place day to day, and I'm still able to have, a massive impact. And I'm not the only one out there. Like, there's millions of people who struggle.
It's easy for somebody from the outside to look at what you're doing and see a Paul Johnson who is a happy guy, is just up for a challenge, up for a unhinged adventure. But it really comes from a very, very different place, like deep inside of you. And I think a lot of the work that you're doing, whether it's supporting RWBs, the Bronx Burners, or something else, a lot of the folks who benefit from what you're doing are also going through a place of struggle. And I think hearing that, what is driving you and what is driving behind your why is incredibly powerful and incredibly relatable to inspire them to know, hey, they're all alternative paths, right? There are different ways to cope and be the version of yourself that you want to be and be your best self, and that's awesome.
Yeah, it all comes from a very dark place, and there are ways to get out of it. It's not easy, but there's ways to get out of it and overcome it, and especially with today's day and age, people are so consumed in their phones and, especially social media, it presents this false image of things. And that, like you said, on social media it looks like, so happy and things like that, but, that's not the case for probably 90% of people. Like, people always just show their best stuff and how they feel in the best moments of their lives. So to be able to do, in person, you can see just how raw it is and how real people are. It's very eye-opening for people versus seeing it on the screen.
To anybody who sees it, who's thinking about a challenge, who's thinking about a way that they could better themselves, they might be struggling, they want to see a different version of themselves, but they don't know how to do it. What's your message to them?
Worst thing that can happen is you fail, and then you do it again. And people will make fun of you, but everybody fucking fails every single day. I failed tying my shoes this morning. I had to tie them again a second time. Failure's a part of life. Most people would never think of running on a treadmill for 7 days. The only reason I thought of it was because someone else set an amazing goal. That woman in Britain. She set an amazing goal of running furthest distance on a treadmill 48 hours for the female record. She got it. So that inspired me. And now here we are, and we're inspiring New York City. So it's a ripple effect. And I'd be very clear on my goals. I want to run 700 miles, raise $700,000. I'm confident we can get to $700,000. I'm 5% confident I can hit 700 miles. I mean, it's a big goal. Realistically, I'll probably hit high 500s, low 600s. But, you got to set big goals, and like you said, fail forward. So if I fail, which I probably will, that's just part of it, then somebody who comes through today, like a young girl at the Bronx Burners, is going to be inspired from this event, and they're going to go do something pretty incredible too.
We're in the easy part now. We're just getting started.
This is the easy part.
But I know.
The fun has ended. I'm not having fun anymore, just to be clear. I won't have fun again until the final 30 minutes of this in a week. My life sucks right now. I hate this. But if I don't finish, if I don't keep going, there's going to be a lot of people that are pretty let down. I've got to keep moving on the treadmill because I've got all of New York City, and the live stream and everything else, they're cheering on. They're going to be very disappointed if I don't finish.
This week, 7 days, how does your crew, how does this community support you to be successful?
I mean, on the crew side, it's running to get me some french fries. which I should probably eat because it's been a while. You know, I'm gonna complain to them all week long, and they're just gonna say, okay, cool, that's nice, I get back on the treadmill and keep running. Like, their job is just, their only job is to keep me moving. Doesn't matter how I feel. Doesn't matter how much I hurt, how much I hate it, how tired I am. I'm gonna hate them, and they're gonna be pissed off and annoyed with me, but we both know what we signed up for, and that's getting to the $700,000 for Bronx Burners and keeping the legs moving on the treadmill. So that's really it. Like,
That's it.
they gotta push me to the end. They know that. I know they're gonna be very mean to me because they have to keep me running. And then having like the community come out, like the young girl you guys had out from the Bronx Burners earlier, she just stopped by and wanted to run 2 miles. So like having that support and like looking over, I'm like, oh man, I can't let her beat me. So it's like a mind game, right? And just having that support and seeing people come in, even for 30 seconds to say hi, it's a massive morale boost.
This week, that's our job. New York City, Bronx Burners, everyone around the world. Keep this man moving.
Let's go, Bob. Make it to 700. Yeah!